Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux. Missed my intro there by a second. Woo! Well, anyway, it is Saturday. Usually we do the news on Friday, but I was tied up yesterday, so we decided to do the news on Saturday morning, or Saturday afternoon, I guess this is, depending on, I guess, where you are in the world. But anyway, greetings there, folks. We got, let's see, Farron OS. How's it going, Mr. Farron? See, Farron OS is getting 32 versions. Sweet. All right. So there, if you are following the Farron OS development, Farron OS is on the stream right now. He says they'll be doing a 32x version, which is cool. Let's see. Check the posts for the stream. Yeah, there was some small issue on there. Wasn't sure what it was, but all right. Let's see. Noah, how's it going, sir? See, I don't know why, but no offense, but the cat looks big in that Switch Linux logo. Yes, he is actually, it's the way he's sitting. He sometimes will sit down kind of like a person would sit down, and when he does that, he's kind of all spreads out and stuff. So he actually looks really fat in that logo. That's actually because it's how he's sitting. If you actually see the real photo, you see what he's doing. He's literally sitting like a person might sit on the floor, and then leaning over. So that's what he looks like. So. But yes, here's Kitty. Whoa! Oh, dropped the kitty. I'm sorry, Kitty. He did not like that. I dropped the kitty. I'm sorry, buddy. Yeah, I dropped the kitty. He's not too big. He's actually more fluffy than it is anything, and he is a giant perpetual hair factory. I'm pretty sure he's a mutant or a space alien, one of the two. You know, fur production is out of control, but he's actually only like a pound overweight or something. All right, so greetings KO2610 and Loriento Borgs, how's it going there? Greetings from Portugal, and Greg Circle, how's it going? Been a while since I've been on for a live stream. Yeah, this is a very unusual time for me to do a live stream, but anyway, looks like it should work. We're going to be looking at the news today, and I made my OBS screen too big. There we are. I just have a couple categories here for today. Just a few news articles. Mostly it's just been a crazy busy week for me. So we're going to talk about combining security and privacy. Then we're going to cover a couple of bad business articles. And I found a really interesting okay then. So we're going to wrap up with that. Prakash Kumar, what flavor of Linux are you using? I'm using Linux Mint Cinnamon 18.1. For this computer, the computer right here is a Debian 9 running KDE. All right. How late is it at your location? It is 3 o'clock p.m. afternoon. What is my least favorite distribution? I'm not sure I have a necessarily least favorite distribution, but my least favorite desktop environment would be GNOME 3. Just don't like it. Deepin, you like this as a distro? You know, I just talked about Deepin, Manjaro Deepin the other day. Was it Deepin? What? Am I off base? My brain has stopped working. I don't remember. Look at the other video for that. All right, so let's go ahead and have a look at what we have. First, we have a... where's my privacy one? There we are. First, we have a follow-up on the DreamHost situation with the Department of Justice was asking for information which seems to be including 1.3 million simply people who visited the website, IP logs, which is a dangerous, dangerous thing to ask for in a warrant. And DreamHost did actually finally win that one. So the update is the Department of Justice has now excluded from the original request any unpublished media, including both text and photographs that may appear in blog posts that were drafted but never made public. So anything that was a draft but not public. And they are also now excluding any HTTP access or error logs so that the visitor's IP addresses are largely safe. So now they're still asking for information. DreamHost says, okay, they're working on getting the information to fulfill the warrant, but the Department of Justice is no longer asking for the information that would lead them to having the actual access IP addresses from the people. This is a huge victory. And, you know, hey, I'm okay with it. Once you exclude all those people, I'm okay with the warrant as it stands at that point in time. So that is a follow-up from last week where we're talking about that. What we're going to do is have a look at the next one. So first we're going to hit a couple of mobile things. So this is a advertising network. Of course, advertising networks are plugged into all sorts of things, and I block most of these advertising networks across the majority of my computers. But this particularly is an advertising network built into apps. So unless you are VPNing into some type of sandbox that is going to remove these types of things, these things are gathering a lot of information. And what these things are doing is gathering all sorts of information and very maliciously spying on users through apps. And so what was affected is over 500 apps on the Google Play Store, which had over 100 million downloads across various Android devices. So, the takeaway message here is be extremely, extremely careful with the apps that you're downloading. Do not go out and be, may I say the word, an app whore. Don't just go out just downloading app. You really, 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 on any device, be it an Android, be it an iPhone, or be it a Windows 10s computer, you have to be extremely careful what those apps are, why you're downloading them, and why do you need them. The vastest majority of time, the majority of apps that we have, I think I looked at the numbers, and I think the average user had like 27 to 30 apps installed. And like, I know some people that just hand their phone to their kids or other friends' kids, whatever, and they're like, oh, just download the games, and they can have like 100 games on their phone. You don't know what's behind these games. Usually what's behind these games is an ad network. Now this one here was really caught with a whole lot of spying capabilities. So a whole lot of things that are either collecting your data and all these things. So when you do need to download an app, look at that privacy setting. On Google Play, just look at the privacy. What does it need? If you're talking about a calculator, there's no reason the thing needs to view your contact list. Okay, be intelligent with that. Let's just go ahead and have a quick look at that. So let's go to Google Play. So it's play.google.com. So if you want to do an app, I'd always recommend just getting on the computer and doing some searching here. So let's just go over here. Let's see. Okay, Poo. It's for everyone. Contains ads, offers in-app purchases. I know nothing about this. I randomly clicked this thing. Let's see what this thing has. Here's what's new. Permissions. Go down here to permissions and click permissions details. Okay, so in-app purchases. It reads the content of USB and storage. Modify the content of USB and storage. It records audio. Why? Why does a game need to record audio? Records your Wi-Fi connections. It views network available. It pairs with Bluetooth devices. Why does this need to pair with Bluetooth devices? That's a hacker thread, by the way. Access Bluetooth settings, full network access, and prevent the device from sleeping. Okay, I can see preventing the device from sleeping. You don't want the device to go to sleep when you're playing a game. So that's fairly common. But why does this thing, I don't know anything about this game, but why does it need the microphone? I mean, if you're talking to the game, that certainly is something. But why is this thing listening in? It doesn't look like anything you need to talk to the thing with. So people are like, oh, you just download whatever. And then you don't realize what these things are doing. And all of these different things, they're involved. These ad networks are being plugged in. So what apps contain this? One app which had between 50 and 100 million downloads, games targeted at teenagers. So just for you, look at your kids too. Weather apps. One app with between 1 and 5 million downloads. Internet radio apps. 500,000 to 100 million downloads. Photo editors. 1 to 5 million downloads. And educational, health, fitness, travel, emoji, home video camera apps. All had these SDKs involved in them. So basically that is when you are building an app, you need to import certain libraries. So importing this certain library was allowing malicious content to be gathered and sent and possibly allowing backdoors into your apps. And so this is what you need to consider when you are downloading an app. So don't just go out there and download an app. You really, really need to be careful about what you're downloading and why you're downloading them. All right. And so That's something that you need to keep in mind. So Ronald Lee asks, do you think that DreamHost Victory might be a pioneering effort to help with privacy breaching? I don't know. I'm wondering in a way if this wasn't just an almost an unintentional overreach from somebody who doesn't know what a server actually has. Because if I read through that actual warrant. If you watched the show, I think it was last week, we actually read through most of the warrant. And it was really seemed to be like they didn't really know what extent a web hosting server actually has on file. And I'm wondering if this was just, hey, they realized, yeah, that was a bunch of stupid stuff to be asking for. I'm wondering if that's what it was. That's just a thought. But yeah, I mean, they were very good at taking a stand and saying, you're asking for more information than you might be. So I think that we need more companies that stand up in this manner to say that, yeah, we can't have this overreach. And governments like spying on us. I use Mega or something like cryptograph, like my money, Bitcoin is the future. Wait. I mean, like blockchain stuff very well might be the future, at least in some areas. There's actually a new blockchain video hosting service I want to look at. It's called DTube, I believe. I watched 1 or 2 videos on it with one of the creators, so it'll be interesting to see what that does. But I mean, it's possibly. I mean, blockchain is certainly a little bit better in that, that's kind of how Tor almost seems to be that way. It's just a series of relays. So you'll not be attending the stream until about 3:30. All right, cool. Sounds good. How's it going there, sir? Why's that? Oh, Farron he's probably talking about sudo Linux, not sudo reboot. Different sudos. But I don't know. Probably busy. Let's see. Pooh needs the microphone because it imitates your voice. Oh, does it? Well, that's still scary. I don't need a game about a cartoon Pooh. Farron said he dead. What, are you resing him from the dead? What? All right, next one. This is exciting. AccuWeather. This is exciting. You guys know AccuWeather is based in State College. Like, this is a local business to us. So AccuWeather basically had this app, which I've never downloaded their app. I should even get rid of I think I even have Weather Channel on mine. I should probably get rid of that. AccuWeather app, even if you were not using it, was essentially caught sending data about every 12 or so minutes about location to basically the ad network behind it. So this is the blog post about these guys. AccuWeather application. AccuWeather application for iOS requests location access under the premise of providing users localized severe weather alerts, critical updates, and faster launch time. Granting access to location information will also cause the application to send the following bits of information to revealmobile.com. Let's see what they are. Revealmobile.com. Increase mobile revenue. We convert opt-in mobile location signals into high-value audiences. You generate more mobile revenue. Okay, so this is yet another one of those systems. It's a new SDK further protect consumer privacy, limit ad tracking feature honored by both iOS and Android. So at least they were talking about, listening to some of that. But even this, I almost, in a way, I do not like any of these types of things. I think an ad network should merely push an ad that is relevant to the content in that device, in that application that it's in. Because if I'm using the application, I probably have an interest in the ad. Okay? I do not want any ads at all that utilizes any information about me to push an ad. I think that should be absolutely banned, absolutely illegal. Not a problem against ads, just against ads that are utilizing information about me to push it. Because that starts getting into emotional manipulation, and that's a challenge. All right, so it sends your precise GPS coordinates, including current speed and altitude, the name and BSSID of the Wi-Fi router you are currently connected to, which can be used for geolocation through various online services, and whether your device has Bluetooth turned on or off. During a testing period of 36 hours, specifically while AccuWeather application was not in the foreground, my test iPhone, located on a desk in an office building, sent the above information to Reveal Mobile a total of 16 times, occurring roughly once every few hours. I apologize. I misspoke earlier. Okay, what is it? What do? They convert mobile location signals into high-value audiences, and this reads as a very high-level description, no technical information on this page. So this is one of their specific pages. We find additional information by expanding the use case of location data to pre- and post-shopping experiences. Entire new possibilities open up for online and offline retailers. In other words, online and offline tracking. Same thing we were talking about with Google before. The value lies in understanding the path of a consumer and where they go throughout the day. Traveling from home to work, to retail, to soccer practice, to dinner is vital to knowing the customer and represents a new opportunity. See, that is the stuff. That is like stalking. That is cyber stalking. I'd like to sue the company for cyber stalking because I have never authorized them to collect that type of information. That's the thing, though. These are third parties. And by you agreeing to use the app on a first party, you are agreeing to let them interact with any party they want to use that. And that's why we have to be very careful about this stuff. Pairing this information with existing demographic targeting criteria allows retailers to target consumers with a high propensity to visit based upon their most relevant locations. Relevant locations. I think I said that wrong. That right there is the problem. I do not want them to be pushing ads based on where I am because they know where I'm at. That is creepy. Okay. Now, the problem is this particular, I think this is where that thing came from, so you can check that out. So inside of this, basically, the location data coming out of the apps. Now, one of the articles that I was reading on this, I didn't see it on this particular one, but one of the articles I was reading up on this very issue even said that even if you have disabled location in your phone. So on my device here, on my iPhone, I keep location off. So if I go down to my settings here and I go down to my privacy, you will see that I have location services turned off. Okay. Now you can narrow in further, and if you happen to turn on location services, you can actually turn various settings on and off. And so what I have is I let it set the time zone. I'm going to turn that one off. Some of these, like, I don't even know. But there's system services you can turn on. And there are other things. So I actually keep the only thing I allow to have any access. I don't even use geocaching anymore. I should just uninstall it. But I allow geocaching to access it. I allow maps to access it. So if I happen to be in a situation where I need a map on a phone, I can come in, turn on location services, and then I know that I can access with the map, but I turn everything else off. One of the articles I was reading about this alleged that even if you had that weather turned off in location services, it was still collecting location data. And I'm assuming that that means if your location services was turned on, but location services for that particular app was turned off. So that was what the issue is. So accordingly, if you had updated, if you updated this, they were supposed to have fixed this issue. And so you would need an update to do that. So if you are running the AccuWeather app, I would first recommend you just uninstall it. Sorry, local business, but you're creepy. I'm done with you. And if you go to their website, it's one giant ad, I think. I think it's one giant ad in a tiny pixel that has the weather on it. I just uninstall that. Just use whatever's on your phone. It's probably ever so slightly safer. And just program your location in, okay? Just program your location in. There's no reason you need to let the thing see where you are, because the difference is, how different is the weather am I on this end of town versus that end of town? The answer, not at all. So it is perfectly sufficient for me. So I don't allow, I think I have Weather Channel installed on here, which I probably shouldn't do anyway because they're just as ad heavy. But I do not allow this application to have any access to my location. But I have programmed any of the cities I need into this. So they will Give me all of the weather for the city I'm in. Shocking. But you know what they don't do? They don't see when I go from here down to the post office, over to the bank, which bank branch do I use in town, which store do I shop at. They don't have access to all this information because I have disabled location services. It's a weather app. The weather does not change from this end of the city to that end of the city. Program your city in. If the app does not let you program it in, dump it. It's a crappy app. So dump this app. Dump these weather apps on your phone. Use the basic stock weather app, as crappy as it may be, program your location, and disallow it from using any location services. And for God's sake, turn location services off on your devices unless you have an absolute necessity to have it turned on. Okay? Bottom line. These people are collecting more information about you than you think, and they're using it for more nefarious purposes to push their consumer agenda down your throat. So we need to chill on that. Oh boy. Let's go ahead and have a look at a few comments. Oh, I'm going to switch over here, but the kitty moved. There we are. We'll do that so we can see the kitty better. He's like, what? I hear my name. Wave, everybody wave to the kitty. All right. Well, yes, it's okay. He meowed. He never meows. He's installed Gentude. Yes, don't want me to imitate your voice? Well... see you later, Lorenta. Sounds like BSSID in my opinion. Okay, I encrypted my Manjaro 17 installation with passphrase 1234. Is there any possibility to re-encrypt it with a secure passphrase without reinstalling? I do not recall. Shall we keep an eye on that guy? Which guy? Good afternoon, Demiano. No idea. I have no data on my phone, only available on Wi-Fi. So try to collect my info, busters. Well, they can, though, collect your approximate data based on your IP address, though, is a challenge. All right. So the next one, more mobile location stuff. This was actually an interesting one that I am very pleased with how this one turned out. So to bring you up to speed, there's this Ellis guy. He was basically the police used the Stingray to get his location without a warrant. And the court finally did come down and say locating a person using a Stingray definitely does require a warrant. So this is a high court ruling that said, yes, we need a warrant to use this. Now, they did say this in this particular case with this particular defendant, they were justified in not using the warrant because he was a suspect in a shooting the day before. And so while the case helped the overall cause about a Stingray, what it did not do is throw out this particular, I believe he shot somebody, this particular person's case. So this was a very good ruling in that it said, yes, a Stingray is required for accessing location of a person on a cell phone. A warrant is now required on the Stingray. In this case, they allowed it to go because he was already a suspect in a previous one, and there is a way around a warrant. If, for example, you're pulled over in your car and it smells like you've been smoking some good herbs in there, the police have the right to search you at that point in time because there is a very reasonable cause. And so this potential involvement in a shooting the night before is a very reasonable cause. And so that's something that you need to keep in mind. But in this case here, I'm pleased to see how this did end up playing out. And this was actually a warrant apparently was required for this application for over 2 years now. And so, but this is good in that it came down on the privacy end to say, yeah, that's good. So that is that. Now on to another fascinating case. If you go back and look at my videos, I have been saying this for a long time. This is funny. It's just in the New York Times, like, whoa, breaking news this week, people. Identity thieves can hijack cell phone numbers to steal your accounts. No kidding, people. I've been saying this for months. Go back and watch some of my old videos. I've been telling you this for months, but now it's real because it appeared in the New York Times. So here is the thing. We have all these phones, and our phones are so public, scammers call me multiple times a day, okay? So these phones, our numbers are so public, they're everywhere. Facebook has them. A Facebook friend can see your phone number, blah, blah, blah. Our phone numbers are everywhere. So what do? Oh, we use our phones to lock down every single website with two-factor authentication with your phone number. In fact, it's so bad now, emails now, almost every email carrier I've seen for online emails, almost all of them have to have now a phone number for verification. Now, here's the problem is, what happens is this phone now becomes the weak link for your ultimate security privacy. You use this to lock down your bank. You use it to lock down your YouTube account. You use it to lock down all of these other things that you should be locking things down with. But everyone's like, oh, use your phone number. Well, this now becomes the weakest link. And with identity theft being so prevalent, now all you have to do is the guy that really wants your number, they just have to keep calling and keep calling and keep calling into the phone call centers, giving up some sob story. One guy actually, I think they had mentioned in this article, one guy ended up calling like 1,500 times or whatever to finally find a guy that would buy his sob story. So basically, this is called a social engineering hack, where you call in enough times with enough information that you've gotten because you've stolen their identity to finally convince a guy that you are this person and you lost your phone. So what happens is then they buy the new phone, get your number ported over, and now every single thing that they know about you, everything that can be reset. Now, this is a different type of hack. There is a broad net hacking when people will access a database and then they'll take the password attached to your account and they'll try that exact username password combination on any other variety of sites. That's like a giant broad net system. This is more of a targeted. When somebody has a victim that they believe is a high profile victim or a person they could get information from, they will target the person, do the social engineering hack, gather the information, and then though it's far more powerful because that one person, even if you have the best security in the world, different usernames, different passwords on every site, they now have access to the one thing that can unlock every single account that you have, and that's your phone. So never, ever, ever, ever use your phone for two-factor authentication. If you have to, get a secondary number that absolutely nobody has. Have a second number, and that is your security line. Nobody has it, period. You never use it. It doesn't exist. You don't make calls from it. You don't make calls to it, but you have that one device that can go back and forth. However, the best thing to do is we need to get people using the security chips. So I have 2 of the Yubico chips. Use those. Those are good two-factor authentication because you have a whole lot better chance of getting your cell phone stolen or your account stolen or all this way more than you have breaking in. Especially you break into here, you got to get past my security and then you got to get past my trigger happy finger. Okay? You got to steal that physical key. And yes, oh, but what if you lose the key? Guys, there is no perfect security. And I got news for you. Risking losing that security key is a way better risk than risking losing your phone and compromising everything. And you do not even know it happens. And then when that does happen, now you have to convince 1,500 more idiots that someone else stole your identity. Don't use your primary phone to lock down your devices and your accounts on social networking or anything else for that matter. So here is just an information. 2013, there were 1,000 incidences. 2016, that number had more than doubled in 3 years. Okay, so what was going on is people are just getting in here and accessing cell phones with this. Now, of course, remember, regarding now, they're like locking down with PIN numbers. Yeah, except Verizon had some stupid third-party idiot contractor out there utilizing an AWS server unlocked, which exposed PIN numbers for thousands of users. So if you have a PIN number on your Verizon account, make sure you change it. All right. So that is that. Let's go ahead and have a look at some comments here. Oh, boy. To the weather app, they can fly a kite. Yep. During a thunderstorm. watching at work. Hey, all right, Daniel. Governments use the net for rob us of our privacy. Yep. Internet must be free to everyone. Yep. Kim.com is no angel. Yep. News.softmedia.com/news. AccuWeather still sharing user data without consent. All right, let me see if I can pull up that article here. Okay. Dot. Yes, there's this one. Thank you there for that, Fern. Okay, so this was 26. What's 26? Oh, that was today. Haha, cool. Thanks. Normally wouldn't expect a company the size of AccuWeather to be involved in such a scandal, but let's look at the firm wasn't saying about the whole truth earlier this week. Ooh, it was not saying the whole truth. Let's see. Research has shown despite an update, so the update which they were saying, update this, AccuWeather iOS still shares data without user consent, even though the company specifically promised to address the problem. Earlier this week, security researcher Will, discovered AccuWeather iOS was sharing some user data without data monetization, with a data monetization firm called Reveal Mobile, even when location sharing was disabled. Okay, so that is confirmed there, I guess. AccuWeather published an update on Thursday, issued a public apology, emphasizing the company considers user privacy priority. Okay, guys, you know that you can tell a PR guy is lying when his lips move. Emphasizing the company considers user privacy. User privacy is a priority. No, it's not. Your bottom line is a priority. Start telling the truth. Promising not to collect data without consent ever again. Why were you doing it to begin with, you shady jerks? Yet, despite the update, it turns out that AccuWeather is still sharing some user data with an advertiser, again, without giving their consent. All right, so they've conducted a new series of tests on the latest version of AccuWeather, and ZDNet has confirmed some data, including precise GS locations and even altitude, are being submitted to NextEdge, a company owned by Oath, but only when location sharing is enabled. Okay. Confirm some data is being submitted to a company owned by Oath, but only when location is enabled. Okay, so third-party company admits receiving user data. Well, as compared to the previous version, when the data sharing took place when location services were turned off, this time it all happens when the users do agree to share location, though they're not giving their explicit consent to have their data shared with advertisers. AccuWeather hasn't issued a new statement of these findings, but Oath, the spokesperson, has admitted the company receives data from the weather firm through SDK integrated into the iOS client. Quote, AccuWeather sends us geolocation data through our SDK. Only when location sharing is enabled by the consumer, we use this data to enable our buyers on our ad exchange to effectively value the impression. Location is commonly used by buyers in order to serve more relevant content and advertising to enhance the overall consumer experience. We're committed to fostering an accountable ecosystem and complying with all applicable privacy laws and regulations. It remains to be seen how AccuWeather responds to these new accusations, but this time a forced apology might not be enough to win customers back already selling them out twice. I'm going to go ahead and add this to the links I'm going to add do later on. All right, so we're going to add that to the links I'll post afterwards. All right, so yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. You know, that's the scary stuff that is out there. Damiano's a genius in the use of net to make money. What is the problem? I use Popcorn Time and many other apps to see movies. Can I go to jail for this? Well, depends on your country. We'll actually address some of those a little bit later here because in another article we're going to be covering here near the end. Piracy is illegal in some countries. Check if it's against the law where you live before using it. Okay, I use a VPN, FM. Well, a VPN is not a golden arrow. In fact, I am absolutely mad at the amount, ever since in the United States, the privacy was up for debate with the ISPs. We're like, use a VPN. A VPN is not a golden bullet, people. It's not. All you're doing is kicking the exact problem to another country, to another company that may or may not do a better job than your ISP. A VPN is not the solution to these problems. They are not. Okay? And too many of these VPNs, they're doing the exact same thing AccuWeather was doing. Gathering all this data, selling it to ad networks. Almost all of them do. A VPN is not a golden arrow. If you got $1 for every swear word, I'd be rich. See, the problem though with swearing is it makes you look unintelligent. That's the problem. Whether or not you are is a different situation. It's like, use better adjectives, you know? All right. Here in North America, try to circumvent copy protect material as a jail sentence and huge fines. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny. A company can steal all of your private data, sell it to another company to make money off of you. You can do nothing about it. But if I take a DVD that I physically own the copy of and put it on a digital format so I can watch it on my own personal device in my own personal house, that's a jail sentence. That's how screwed up the laws are. See, the movie streaming is not piracy. Actually, we are going to address that in a moment because we are going to be talking about the VidAngel case here later on in the show. I've been working in Canada, use popcorn time every day. Okay, user privacy is a priority because they can make money off unsuspecting people who use the app. Yeah, it's a priority to steal people's user privacy, user data. Yep. Hey, Pseudo Linux, how's it going? With my kitty, sweet. Kitty. Popcorn Time uses torrent and Roger cable monitors such activities. If they suspect illegal activities, they will notify authorities. Huh. AppJan. Where is AppJan? I have no idea where the AppJan is. All right. So this is more fun IoT devices mixed with privacy. Hey, you guys ever buy that $200 to $300 smart speaker Sonos? You must now accept their new user privacy, or the thing will simply stop working. This is why I don't buy IoT devices, at least not ones that I can do a whole lot stuff on. Certainly not one that requires, okay, so I have to agree to accept the new privacy policy, or my expensive speaker. I looked these up yesterday, but I'm going to look them up today now that we are on system here. Let's just go to Amazon. Do we agree Amazon's an okay place to go? Look up prices of things. Holy moly! $500? I thought these were $200. Okay. The compact one's $200. So $200 looks like $200 to $500 for this speaker. Oh, there's a 7. Yeah. Wireless streaming computer speakers. These things are awesome. But now you have to accept this. Okay. They've confirmed that existing companies will not be given an option to opt out of its new privacy policy, leaving customers with a sound system that may eventually, quote, cease to function, end quote. As the home sound speaker prepares to begin collecting audio settings, error data, and other user account data before the launch of its smart speaker integration in the near future. So if I've already bought one of these, I like how it works, I have to agree to let them collect a bunch of data. Okay, what's up with this? So here's their privacy policy. What you should know about our new privacy policy statement. Next week, we'll be introducing some important updates to a privacy statement. Sonos owners and anyone who visits our website will be asked to acknowledge this new policy when we update our software and systems in the coming days. The privacy statement covers what information we collect, how we use it, and the choices you can make about both. In other words, none. Let's read on. We use the data you share with us to improve your... Why is it that the master all end, every company's using this stupid lie and improve your user experience? No, my user experience is improved by you not collecting my data. Better believe I will never buy anything this company has to offer. The information we collect allows us to understand your system's performance. None of your business. To keep the Sonos software and keep it secure. The data also makes tools like TruePlay tuning possible, so your speakers sound great in every room. In other words, we're going to measure every room that you have and who sits where. Creepy! 1984 much? Data also makes tools like TruePlay. Let's see. We introduced new ways for you to control Sonos, like your voice and via music service apps and smart home integrations. No! I can turn it on with a button, thank you. Comes to using your information, our principles are simple. We will be transparent about what data we're collecting and why. We will protect your data as though it is sacred. By the way, sacred doesn't mean much in America. If you want more information, check out my other YouTube channel, Our Walk in Christ. We will not sell your data. We've never sold it before. We won't sell it in the future. We'll just share it with our third parties. The updates to a privacy statement make it easier to understand than the previous version. The new statement will also better reflect our current and future Sonos experiences. We're making these changes. We took time to work with experts in the privacy community to understand best practices and make sure the language we choose was clear, future fit. Future fit, that's a new buzzword I haven't heard before. And avoiding as much confusing legal jargon as possible. Before we ask you to acknowledge these changes, we're sharing a few statements. No. We're not asking you to acknowledge. We're completely avoiding your ability. Okay. First, you will notice we've added a section which means if you choose to enable voice access, then your system will be able, when your system is available, if you choose to enable a voice assistant to control your Sonos when the system is in your country. Wait, what? We've added a section on what it means if you choose to enable voice control. Okay. It's no secret. We've been working on this for some time. We want to make sure we're preparing you well in advance. Most important thing for you to notice is that Sonos does not keep recordings of your voice data. It goes to the voice assistant service, for example, Amazon. Guys, Amazon does collect the data. So if they're sending it to Amazon, it does record the data. Yes, it does. You've activated. We've also included information on how TruePlay technology analyzes your room to optimize your product sound. Share it with your partners. Wait. Because Sonos is a platform that partners streaming services, okay. We do share some of the data with our partners that is necessary. Wait. If I'm not mistaken, did they not say up here, we never share it with anybody? We will not sell your data. We've never sold it and we won't sell it in the future. Yeah, call it. We just share it. When information is shared, it will be a product or service you have requested or authorized. Improving the customer experience. Lastly, we will be collecting some basic information about your Sonos system, like error information and audio settings, so we can proactively work to identify issues before they become problems. By sharing this information with us, we will be able to continually improve your experience. We respect your privacy. We are committed to protecting the personal information. All right. So you cannot opt out of this, and your $500 speaker will simply stop working if you refuse to accept this. If a customer chooses not to acknowledge the privacy statement, the customer will not be able to update the software on their system, and over time, the functionality of the product will decrease. Quote, the customer can choose to acknowledge the privacy or can accept that over time their product may cease to function. Okay, this is a class action lawsuit that has to happen. If I already owned one of these and now they're going to suddenly throw this on me, I had better get every single penny back for that device and let them come pick it up or send me a prepaid box. Because this is so garbage. This company needs to be shut down. And guys, we as consumers need to not buy from them again. Make an outrage. News of the changes was announced to customers in an email last week. Well, that's kind of you to know. Companies move to disallow any existing customer to way to opt out has riled many who commented in various tweets and Reddit threads. It comes as the company becomes the latest tech firm to offer new privacy policy for users, which govern how the company collects its user data and shares with its partners. Can opt out of submitting certain types of personal data. The company, for example, additional usage data such as performance and activity information. Will not be able to switch off data the company considers necessary for the device. Functional data. Okay, so the functional data you cannot opt out of. That's what they're saying, right? The functional data you cannot opt out of. Here is the functional data. Registration data. Email address, location, language preferences, serial number, IP address, Sonos login information, and the system data. Things like product type, controller device, operating system of the controller, software version, information, content, audio in, signal input, whether your TV outputs a specific audio signal such as Dolby to your system, information about Wi-Fi, antennas, audio settings, product orientation, room names you have assigned to your product, and whether your product has been tuned with TruePlay technology. Wow. Sonos is the perfect illustration of how effective privacy... Okay, let's see. Move has drawn ire from several privacy policies. So this is a statement from some detractors. Sonos is a perfect illustration of how effective privacy, when it comes to not just services, but also physical objects, requires more than just more transparency. It also requires choice and effective use of controls. Okay? Quote, we are going to see this more and more when it comes to services for things that people paid for are going to be conditioned on accepting an ever-evolving privacy policies and terms of use. That's not going to be fair unless the companies start providing users with meaningful choices and ensure that basic information continues if the users say no to the new terms. Okay? Now, this is interesting that Plesk, which is a system I've never looked into just because, I mean, I have a media streaming system in my office that works great on entirely free and open source software. Plex is a more paid one. Well, they decided they wanted to begin collecting more data, and it caused so much backlash that various people on Reddit kind of went back and said, no, they're not going to do this. All right, so that is something to keep in mind. And I see we have a boatload of comments now, so let's go ahead and see the comments on this thing. All right. Bank robs us every day and we don't go to jail. 2008, yeah. Gonna buy a BlackBerry and turn it into a VPN so I can go to any website when I'm at school. There you go. That'd be a fun use. IoT $400 juicer. I have not. My $60 Walmart juicer works great, though. I'll tell you that. Yeah. This one, yeah. This one is actually not even technically a juicer. It mixes juice out of a packet. Guys, oh my God. Okay, that is still processed food, people. Don't look at that and say this is new healthy juice. No, if you want healthy juice from a juicer, you best go out to the store, buy yourself some fresh vegetables, and make the juice at home. Okay? $400 for a speaker. I'm not lazy and I can actually untangle cords. Yep. Actually, I'm lazy like your cat. Yep. Cat, you're lazy. Yeah, he's too lazy to even look up. Hundreds of dollars for IoT devices. Come on, we Linux dudes just grab a Raspberry Pi and do it on our own. Absolutely. That's what I do. My Raspberry Pi is currently connected to a Kodi system, open source media center on my TV, and it works awesome. I don't know what data some of these companies look at, but they always seem to find data that makes the user experience worse. I know! Shocking! Why is it that once they start collecting data to make a better user experience, my user experience gets worse? Oh, see you, Daniel. Add a new headphone warning banner, please. Oh, sorry. My apologies. My data gets collected, the sound quality goes up. Sonos. No, but it does make us money. Yep. Sonos PRs, just a lot of hot air. Returns next quarter if people are wise enough. Yeah, absolutely. I hope every person takes that speaker, puts it back in the box, and sends it back and says, this is my way of opting out of my privacy data. Give me my money back now. Stop buying products and companies do this. And I'll share a little bit more about that later, maybe. Okay, every big company is just giving the middle finger when it comes to collecting data. Yep. EULA and TOS for all future products should be supplied with a large tube of anal lube. Ooh. Please apply this before, yeah, okay. And change your IP for more privacy. Yes, True Play is a feature that you have to opt in for garbage. It allows your speaker to get 1 amp louder. I don't know. Samsung Galaxy S6, apparently the weather widget is AccuWeather powered. Oh boy, how fun! That's exciting. That's curious to know if it collects the same data. That'd be neat. Hook that thing up on a Wireshark and see what it does. If I want audio, I will just buy a aux speaker instead. Yep. Are you a hacker? Shh. No, I'm not a hacker. Just because he likes to hide info doesn't mean he does anything bad. Like, I'm the same. It's like saying, let's put a camera in every bedroom and send it to the company. Yeah, like Amazon. Yeah. The only way for companies to change this nonsense is people start suing them. Yeah, we need to sue them, stop buying them, and overflow their social accounts with negative comments. Maybe then, and that's what happened with Plesk, and they decided to maybe do a change. But once they even think about it, I'm out. You know, only way company to change this nonsense, people start suing them. Like when you spill hot coffee from McDonald's, the customer's been rewarded, so should be your protection for identity. Yeah, and that's the thing though, is by utilizing these things and not reading the terms and conditions, you unfortunately have taken a lot of that power away. Stupid thing is the best way to protect your privacy data is to not give it out in the first place. Yes. I don't want you to collect my data because it's none of your business where the speaker's at or what the room is called. It's Linux for protect my data and everything encrypted. Yeah. Web browser manager. Try not to collect data. Bottom of post. So we collect the most data and by the way, pass it over to passing it over to our trusted third parties. Yes. Trusted third parties. Oh, well, that was fun. Of course, if you do use IoT devices, you might want to go ahead and check out this paste bin and make sure your IoT device is not listed. So basically, with all these IoT devices all over the internet now, there has been somebody updating this exciting list of IP addresses with all of the basic addresses. Go ahead and double check your IP, make sure your IP is not on this list. So basically what this is a list containing thousands and thousands of IP addresses that are linking to IoT devices that are not secured. And it looks like admin. This is mostly unsecured home routers is what it looks like. Oh, here's a root default, so that's probably a camera. So basically anyone could go right to this address and just type in the root user access and gain access to it. Did I see some default blanks? Yeah, default blanks. I saw them. Did you see them there? There you go. These ones here don't even have passwords at all. You just go in there, you enter, you default as the username, and you can get right on into the system. So basically, this is the problem with IoT devices, is that you get this kind of stuff here where users will... basically, this is just a list of things that people can get in there, and it's believed that this list was created so people were apparently creating botnets out of them. So this is kind of bad, you know. We have to be aware that if you happen to have IoT devices, you need to lock them down. For example, my security cameras, like the one up there in the corner, my security cameras, they do not have any access to the internet. They have to go through the router, so you have to access your way through a 4K VPN to get through anything on the router, including the security cameras. They're not directly accessible from outside. And so that's the thing you have to be aware of is how much stuff that we have that now everything connects to the internet, but almost everything that we have now that connects to the internet has default stuff and can be incorporated into a botnet, because a lot of these things, we cannot even change those default passwords. An old printer I had No matter how many times you try and change the default password on the network, it wouldn't allow you to. Fortunately, I had a good enough firewall that you couldn't access the thing from the outside. But this is crazy. This is a crazy amount of things. To change the system is to put out the money for the banks. Yeah. I use Sonos system to stream the audio from every computer room in the apartment. It has no latency other than systems. I think I have to search for another solution now. Yeah, and you should call them up and say, I disagree to your services. I spent this much money on the speaker, and if this thing's going to stop working, I want my money back. And sue them. Sue them if they don't say, oh, yay, ship it back, we'll give you your money back. Sue them. Take them to small claims court in your local district and sue them. And say, they are forcing me to accept this privacy policy for a speaker that when I bought it, I didn't have to give anything up. Now they're changing this, and to keep using this multi-$100 device, I have to update the system and agree to collect this data. I don't want this. They refuse to give me a refund, so I want the court to compel them to give me a refund for this speaker. They can have the speaker back. I want my money back so I can go buy another solution. That's exactly what I would do. Exactly what I would do. The Internet of Trash, yes. Good luck getting to because I don't think I have any password, and my password is 1A2B. Use my PC more in a coffee shop and McDonald's to do downloads. Yeah. Bait and switch, sort of. All right. Well, this was exciting. So this company is looking for weaponized exploits that hack phones, and they'll pay top dollar. Right now, they're looking to target weaponized exploits of Signal and WhatsApp. So basically, it's a DC-based broker that apparently just sells to very highly vetted, specialized companies. That is a list that we refuse to identify. So that's kind of scary. Basically, they're offering millions of dollars if you can break into Signal and WhatsApp. Of course, there are already ways into Signal and WhatsApp. You can't get it in transmission. You just have to get it on either end of the phone. So anything that gets you root access into either end of the phones will allow that, because it can view who it's coming from on the phone level. And so basically, this is a company that sells information to state-sponsored. So this would technically be state-sponsored hacking into all of these services and systems. And the biggest problem is that they will not say who exactly they're selling these to. And I agree with somebody who made in the comments down here that if you want to have a company like this that has a business model that is selling these types of secrets, I think that it should be public knowledge who their client list is. Because what prevents some scammy person? For example, look at the case we looked at. It was either last week or 2 weeks ago. We looked at the case where a company was able to get into Google's system, and not Google's system. It was another marketing company's system. End up for free gaining access to all of this raw system to, quote, test their system. They end up, any scammer company could do that. Any scammer company could get in, access that system, pay a few bucks, get that information, and de-anonymize that data. It's fairly easy. Well, what if these highly vetted companies are just spamming companies, paying them $1 million for the information? What if that's the case? So if you have a company like this, I really think that it should be absolute public knowledge who their list of customers is. Because who's to say they're not? Who's to say this company's not getting it all and selling it to North Korea? Who's to say they're not getting it all and selling it to some other malicious system online? I'm not saying they have to give out all their information, for sure. But you know what? You want to have a system like this? I really think that what you should be able to do is you should be able to know who they're selling their information to. That's just kind of the reality of it all. All right. Lost a tooth and threw it away. It's 2 in a week. I hope they're like not adult teeth, man. All right, so let's have a look. This is under the topic of bad business. Let's have a look at these. So first one here is, if you remember anything about VidAngel, VidAngel was marketed towards Christians and things. And what this is basically a streaming company where you would buy the movie for like $20, and then so you quote owned it. And then the company had basically taken the DVDs, cut them into digital copies, and then categorize like 85 different ways to filter and screen content. So it was a way that a person could have a movie. They could have a movie. They could cut it up, and they could play it at home, stream it at home, so that families could watch a movie. So, I mean, I think back to, when we were kids, Johnny Dangerously was a movie out, and there's this little section in Johnny Dangerously called Your Testicles and You. And, it was a scene that, we had parents that actually cared back in those days, and we were allowed to watch the whole movie, but when that one clip of the movie went on, we had to leave the room as kids. Okay? And so eventually, I think my mom got a copy of it and cut that out because we recorded it from one VCR to the next, and we cut that part out, so we had a copy of it at home without that clip in it. And VidAngel was kind of getting this streaming service where they basically had a way that a person could buy a movie for $20, cut parts down, play it for their family, for their kids to watch a filtered copy of the movie, and then they could sell it back for $19, and effectively that allowed you to watch a movie for $1, which isn't a whole lot different than going to Redbox and renting a movie for $1. Okay, the problem is a few of these streaming services got really cranky about them buying it and then cutting it up, saying that, well, you can't take this. And so this produced this whole giant debate around this. And with all of this going on, what ended up happening is a few different people came together to sue VidAngel to come out and say, you can't do this. You're streaming edited content. On top of that, you're taking the disc, you're bypassing the encryption, so you're violating DMCA. So they are estimated to lose this lawsuit, by the way. And there's this Family Movie Act. So there's a lot of weird stuff in the middle of all of this. All right? Lots of weird stuff in the middle of all this. And I think that one of the things is that first, is this a service I'd buy? No, because I don't buy any streaming service. I just don't. Do I think it's a good idea? Yes. We are a democratized society, okay? I'm a crazy Bible-thumping Christian. But I fully support your right to be a total non-spiritual atheist. And I believe we should be able to have great conversations in the middle of everything. And if Hollywood wants to produce a movie, I think they should have the full right to do whatever in the world they want to do in that movie, as long as I have a way of rating systems. So we have a rating system which is horrible. It sucks. Okay? But at least we need to have a rating system that says, hey, a person of this age may not go in to see this movie, and for the most part that's enforced, and that's fine. That's cool. No problem. And I remember going down and when I was mentoring kids out west, and they were, teenagers, so they want to buy a copy like Black Ops or something. Parents worked all the time. I could take the kids out to the store with their parents' permission, and they brought their own money, and they would buy M-rated games that an adult, they couldn't go to the store and buy on their own because you needed an adult there. So I could buy it, and I always made sure it was okay with the parents. Parents would be like, oh yeah, that's no problem. So they'd bring their money, I'd take them out, and this is the course of what I was doing with them throughout the day. We'd stop by the store, they'd buy their M-rated video games, whatever. But I didn't necessarily have a problem with that, and under many circumstances. A few of them I didn't want them to play in my house, but But the thing is that in our society, they need to have the right to produce that stuff. But me, as a Christian and a person honoring to my family and to my God, I should have the right to filter that stuff. Now, maybe I need to not be supporting Hollywood as much and buying less and less and less garbage like that. Maybe I just need to have the legal way. So I think the entire DMCA needs to go away. Okay? Entire thing is crap. Because if I go to the store and I buy a DVD, I have the technology here to put DVDs on digital copies. But that's illegal. Even if all I'm doing is doing it so I personally am watching the house. But I also have the technology as a video producer to take those videos and cut out bad, objectionable parts. Like, for example, I grew up on Transformers. I was a mid-'80s kid, and I was in kindergarten when season 1 of Transformers aired. And I loved the Transformers. And a couple years later, Transformers the movie came out. And it was in the theater. And I had a copy of it back then. Did you know if you buy the DVD, they had to put a swear word into it? And it pisses me off. Why do I need a swear word in Transformers the movie? It's a cartoon. It's a cherished part of my childhood. And I should have the ability to buy a copy of the movie, put it on a digital file, edit the one swear word out, and watch it in my own house in the privacy of my own home. But I can't. I'm breaking encryption of the DVD, and that's illegal. That's what VidAngel is offering a service to do. They're offering a service that a person can pay money and stream that movie in a family-friendly way. And the studios are all mad because, you're messing with my art! Get off it, you crazy liberal lunatic. Be glad I bought your art, rather than finding it on the dark web for free. That's the bottom line. You know, that's the bottom line. They're going to lose this case. I know they're going to. But we need better things like this company. I'm not saying that this company is just like, yeah, I'm going to go support this company necessarily. But we need services and technologies like this. Or I need a legal way to do this type of thing in my own home. It's better than Netflix. Maybe we just need to have a way to figure it out. Oh, boy. There's a lot of comments there, so let's go ahead and have a look at our comments. Best password is the best password. Nice. See you later, Farron. Greetings, Chateau. How's it going? You see the movie in streaming and no trace because the data is divided into many 100 megabytes. You're a Christian. Yes, I am. And I have a Christian channel at Our Walk in Christ, if you're interested in seeing that. I do some good Bible studies over there. Just relaunching the channel a couple weeks ago. Hello, Sudo Linux. Yes. Here it's 2,100 hours. All right. So my electronics should be able to get $400 on Craigslist. Nice. After DMCA, it might sound selfish, but when I found a lost stupid, I just don't care about it. We pay internet. We may watch everything in my house. Pay internet. We may, I'm guessing, watch everything in my house. Oh, okay. Not following exactly on that one. Apologize. In the 80s, most movies aired on TV were edited to the family viewing. Why isn't that acceptable now? That's the thing. That's the thing. Now, there are by the way, I'll point out this too. I didn't know about this, but there's this Family Movie Act, which allows you to have some form of edited movie. The problem is it's still a violation of DMCA to take a copy of the movie and edit it in my house if I still have a real copy of that movie laying around, which I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, and I want to study that law a little bit more. I want to see if doing that does get me around that DMCA, because I would love to be able to do that on my own personal private basis, and I should be able to. No, I understand that, Loriento. I'm trying to interpret what you're saying here. We pay internet, and we may watch everything in my house. I'm guessing. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you have the internet, yeah. That's thing. I'm just not exactly sure what I'm trying to say. That's fine. No, that's cool. That's cool though. I think I got the gist of what you're saying. Is a torrent file of a movie legal? It kind of depends on the source. I'm thinking it might not be, though. I really don't know, to be honest with you. Pay internet so we can watch anything in our house. Just a correction. That's exactly what I thought you were trying to say. Yeah, I think that's exactly what I was trying to say. Yeah, we pay the internet so we can watch anything from my house. I think that was a comment. Yeah, if we buy the internet and I can access it on the internet, I mean, legally, of course, I think that that's perfectly fine. And that's the changing times, you know? All right. Next article. This is a funny bad business one. More than a third of Americans have been unknowingly enrolled in auto payment plans. Yeah. And it's getting worse that more and more companies are offering you or I don't know if they're offering you a discount, but they're charging you more if you do not auto pay. And that kind of makes me mad. It really does. Because it makes me want to stop doing business with them. Like, I'm this close, I think, from stopping doing business with Verizon Wireless. They're just starting to get unscrupulous in some things. I was going to talk about some Verizon Wireless articles, but I kind of kicked them out. But anyway, and I couldn't go to this creditcards.com. It must be blocked by my ad blocking script. But basically, people are saying that 35% of respondents have set up an account that enrolled them in automatic payments. Only 11% choosing to keep the auto pay turned on. So the problem is there's a law it's called this negative option billing, which allows a company to collect your credit card information for the purpose of a free trial. If you do not call them back to cancel the free trial, then you are quote unquote authorizing them to steal, basically steal your money, sign you up. The problem is that too many people are not paying much attention, and if you are not careful, you can auto sign up for this without even realizing this. And this is why it's one more reason to just not use credit and debit cards and be exceptionally careful on this. Which, by the way, I think this week for the first time I'm going to be testing out using the cash to pay option on Amazon. I've been pricing some new cameras to up some video quality in some other areas of things I'm doing, and I think I can buy the camera. Like, I think the camera I'm going to go for is I can buy it on Amazon. And so if that's the case, I'm going to go out to the store, local store, drop cash on a gift certificate, and then see about the reloaded gift certificates for Amazon. So I'm going to, if I get that working, I'm going to let you guys know how that works. So that's kind of the way that is. Are we ready for now let's do comments, and then we will get to our okay then article, and then we'll feed the kitty and be off. All right. We pay a service. Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what I thought you were saying too. Yeah, we pay a service. We should be able to use the service. Now, of course, the question is, if I decide that I'm going to say I'm going to go out into the store and I'm going to buy a DVD and I'm going to set up my own streaming service and I'm going to charge 1 penny to be able to stream out all of the DVDs so you can watch any movie in the world for 1 penny. I don't know. Am I running afoul of any laws? I don't know. And that's kind of the question. They just got cranky with VidAngel because they were, I guess, had an option to just buy. I don't remember. I don't remember the issue. It was stupid in some studio. In fact, it was the Disney and Sony were mad at VidAngel for allowing edited copies of their movies. I don't know. It's stupid. Dish, Netflix, Hulu, cable. What do you use? Yeah. Vodafone. Okay. It's like Comcast. Make TV, not just phones. Wait, what? Yeah, I don't know. Using torrent client to view things. Okay. For phone service. Okay. If I pay something, if I pay something, I may have free to watch what I won't uTorrent, Popcorn, and others. Yeah, and that's the thing. That's that cord cutting part. Is more and more people are getting rid of cable TV, especially since they keep on upcharging for crap I don't want. Like I care negative quantities about sports. Okay. the last thing I possibly ever would want to do is buy Comcast cable TV so I can pay $5 a month streaming service for sports. No, thank you. But that's part of the package deal, is get all the sports channels in with it. It's like, no, I care zero amounts about that crap. I'm certainly not paying hundreds of dollars a month for a sports tax. Thank you very much. If you like sports, you're welcome to pay it. I don't want to. So we should be able to have this. But the challenge that I'm seeing is now so many, like the streaming is getting so segmented where now, Disney wants to pull its streaming off of Netflix and Sony wants to do its streaming off of Netflix and everybody else. So it gets to this point now to where you have to pay for 100 different streaming services, and you're going to be paying more money than you were paying for cable to begin with. So yeah, I mean, we should have the ability to use, though, the services that we want. So I'm not completely against the streaming services in principle, but it's just getting so bad that you cannot really get a streaming service now that encompasses everything that you want, and so you need just as many streaming services as the cost for the cable, and you're just getting all sorts of issues. It's crazy. Watch Hulu in Canada, I have to use a VPN. Yeah, and that's exactly Brian Lunduke's argument against the W3C's stance on embedding the DRM into browsers as a web standard, because it goes completely against what they're supposed to stand for, because the internet is supposed to be region locality free. And it should be region and locality free. I thought Kodi is just for media. No, Kodi is basically a smart TV system. So with Kodi, you can put in a lot of plugins, so I can watch YouTube on the TV with Kodi. I use like Top Doc Films, TED Talks. You can even put in some of your, conservative or liberal news ends, whether you like CNN or Fox. You can put those in and get all of the clips that they put online. All that kind of stuff is all available. In fact, Kodi was originally the inspiration behind the Apple TV, if I remember correctly. So yeah, Kodi is absolutely awesome. I would get a dumb TV, buy yourself a Raspberry Pi, and install Open Source Media Center on it, and that's your smart TV. Free and open source Linux, and then do things. You just gotta make sure you're using legal plugins for your region, etc. Thanks, Damiano. Yeah, that's right. You do have to watch your plugins, though. A service I could pay like $10 a month and rent as many movies I wanted, I'd pay for it, i.e. Netflix, but with actual content worth watching. Yeah, the downside is all of these companies are just becoming their own crap rather than anything else. Yes, a lot of your smart TV companies are taking a big, strong stance against Kodi right now. They're really under a lot of attack, so I would definitely go and help support Kodi even financially if you could, because they are still kind of keeping things in the free. TED Talks and YouTube plugin, OMC Raspberry Pi. Yep, those are the one. I think those are the only two extensions I have on mine. All right, are we ready for our OK Then article? Well, if you want to go work for KFC, their training exercise now includes a VR escape room, which is haunted by the ghost of the anti-robot Colonel Sanders. So you go into this special room. There's the robotic, what did my friend say? A holier-than-thou Colonel Sanders photo up on the wall. There's a chicken over here. There's like a Colonel Sanders Oz over here. The only way to escape the room and the Colonel's incessant cranky narration is to correctly fry a batch of chicken, following the ghost's instructions to inspect, rinse, bread, rack, and fry. Things take an especially bizarre turn when it comes to learn how to bread the chicken. This ghost begrudgingly accepts the help of a pair of robotic arms to demonstrate proper technique while taking a vehemently anti-robot, pronounced robot, stance. But robots could never make the chicken, he grumbles. Robots are just stupid pieces of dumb metal without souls or mouths. I demand a human touch in my kitchen. It depends on what that human touched first. In the end, the only way to escape and to, quote, enter the light, which takes on some odd religious tones, as the Colonel so eerily puts it, is to use your disembodied hands to feed the perfectly fried drumstick to the mouth of the Oz Colonel Sanders and head out the door. You are not ready to cook my original chicken recipe like a professional. Well done, he says. You may now leave this delicious prison and ascend. Ascend, my friend, now go. And they have an 8-minute video here. You can go to Consumers and find this video, and you can watch this 8-minute video, which I have not watched yet. I'm going to watch it as soon as the stream is done. Is this real life, or is this just fantasy? Yeah, isn't that from a Queen song? Bohemian Rhapsody, I believe. Probably wondering if this is a real training program, and yes it is. Program hasn't started yet, but when it does, actual employees will be taken through the 10-minute game, which speeds up the usual 25-minute process of preparing and frying chicken. KFC will use the VR simulation to supplement its robust multi-step employee training program called Chicken Mastery Certification, which provides detailed e-learning and hands-on training for cooks in each of the KFC's kitchens. Company says in a press release, KFC will provide yet another platform for training by bringing the VR simulation technology to its regional general manager training classes, quarterly franchise meetings, and employee onboarding. Yeah. Freaky. Oh boy. Rip Blockbuster. The technology was dying, but nowadays, online services, you spend 3 years picking a show, exception for Hulu, you can watch any channel. Huh. Is online not blocked? I would love to try this, yes. Get my new computer, I'll make more videos, by the way. Cool. Alright, well, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this bad boy up. So let's go ahead and feed the kitty. Oh, he knows it's the end of the live stream. Look at that. He's like, he hears that expression, feed the kitty. He props awake, and watch this. Whoa, he's up. Oh, over here. There you go, right there. Oh, smelling now. We're smelling now. Oh, smelling now. Oh, he's a good mother load. Buddy. All right. So, thanks for watching, everybody, and have yourselves a wonderful afternoon. We should probably be here for tinfoil hat time tomorrow. We will talk to you all later.